Attention passionate Buffalo, BILLSFANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Buffalo Bills' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Buffalo Bills fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Buffalo, BILLSFANS. Let's get to the news. All right, Bills fans, buckle up because the NFL rumor mill is buzzing with some serious potential shakeups, and it involves none other than Myles Garrett, the beastly edge rusher from the Cleveland Browns. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Myles Garrett in Buffalo. Well, hold that thought because whispers from insiders like Diana Rossini are swirling, and the possibility of a trade is gaining some serious traction. As of now, the Browns, sitting at 4-9 and clearly in full tank mode, are reportedly flirting with the idea of trading Garrett. And if that happens, it could be a game changer not just for Cleveland, but for the entire AFC East, especially for the Bills. Let's dig into this. The Browns, who have been struggling defensively, are giving off some strong signals that they're willing to part ways with their franchise pass rusher. Their defense, which has been leaking yards, allowing an average of 155 rushing yards per game, is prioritizing assets to rebuild their offense, particularly focusing on draft picks for wide receiver and trying to free up cap space, estimated at around $15 million, to extend the contract of Amari Cooper. It's a tough pill for Browns fans to swallow, but it's clear they're looking to reset. The trade rumors suggest Cleveland might be looking for their first-round pick in the 2026 draft, and perhaps a player like Gregory Rousseau from the Bills, freeing up a hefty $27 million in cap space that could be funneled toward their quarterback needs or other assets. For the Bills, the potential acquisition of Garrett would be nothing short of a defensive game-changer. We've seen how impactful Garrett has been across his career, an absolute titan on the edge with a knack for disrupting offenses. He's got 105 career sacks and over 500 pressures up to September 2025. Just this season, he's been on fire, tallying 14 sacks in 13 games with a PFF grade of 93, and a pass rush win rate of around 27%. That's elite, folks. Plus, Garrett is a force in forcing fumbles. He's had 6 so far this year, and his EPA per snap sits at -0.15, which shows how much he impacts the game every time he's on the field. Looking at his recent performances, Garrett's Week 11 against the Bengals was a showcase of his dominance. 4 sacks, 12 pressures, and 2 forced fumbles. Just absolute havoc. And that's not an outlier. Over his career, he's been a constant threat with 10 career interceptions dropped, a run-stop win rate of 32%, and he's resilient, having played through injuries like a knee injury earlier this season. Despite some setbacks, Garrett has remained productive, averaging over 8 games with 2 or more sacks this year, along with 5 pass defenses. That kind of consistency is exactly what the Bills need to elevate their defensive front. Now, let's talk about the Bills' current defensive situation. With Von Miller's injury being a significant blow, an Achilles injury that has sidelined him, the Bills' pass rush has taken a hit. Their defense, which once looked formidable with Miller and Ed Oliver, has become a bit leaky, allowing about 145 rushing yards per game, which is a concern. Adding Garrett could flip that script entirely. Imagine pairing Garrett with the likes of Greg Rousseau and Ed Oliver. Suddenly, the Bills' pass rush would resemble the feared combination of White and Smith from the 2018 Bears, with Garrett raising the pressure rate from around 25% to an impressive 35%. That's a massive upgrade. The reasoning behind the Browns' move makes sense from their perspective. They're trying to build a more explosive offense, especially with their focus on draft assets on offense and cap flexibility to extend Cooper. But from the Bills' standpoint, this would be a strategic win. Garrett would not only bolster the pass rush, but also allow the interior linemen to breathe, freeing up more space for Ed Oliver to wreak havoc. It's a move that could reduce the Bills' rushing yards allowed drastically, possibly by around 40%, bringing it down from 145 to roughly 87 yards per game. That's a huge improvement, especially against the run-heavy teams in the AFC. If we look at the statistical impact, adding Garrett would increase the Bills' collective pressures by about 170 compared to their current totals, making them a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. It would boost their sacks per game from the current level to an average of 2-3, and their EPA per pass attempt would improve from around 17 to even better. The pressure rate would jump from 22% to roughly 44%, giving opposing quarterbacks no room to breathe. Plus, Garrett's ability to force turnovers, his 6 forced fumbles this season, would add another layer of danger to the Bills' defense. And let's not forget how this impacts the Bills' playoff chances. Some simulations suggest that adding Garrett could increase their chances of winning against top-tier teams like the Chiefs by about 20%. Pressure is everything in today's NFL, and Garrett's ability to turn up the heat in big moments could be the difference between a deep playoff run and an early exit. His presence alone could elevate the Bills' defense to Super Bowl caliber levels, turning their front seven into a true trench-centric nightmare. On the other side, the Browns' perspective is about rebuilding in the worst way possible. Trading away Garrett, an all-pro talent, signals a clear rebuild mode. It's a tough pill for Browns fans to swallow, but the front office seems to believe that this move is necessary to acquire draft capital and rebuild their offense with new weapons. Still, it's a gamble. Trading an elite pass rusher like Garrett could weaken their defense dramatically, especially since they've already struggled against the run this season. The tension in Cleveland regarding this potential move is palpable, especially given Garrett's contract situation and the fact that he's been a cornerstone of their defense. For the Bills, this move aligns perfectly with their current needs and long-term strategy. With Von Miller's injury, they've been seeking ways to bolster their pass rush, and Garrett would be a plug-and-play solution. His ability to generate pressure, force turnovers, and disrupt the timing of opposing quarterbacks would be invaluable, especially in the playoff push. Plus, with the Bills' offense performing at a high level, Josh Allen continuing to be a top-tier quarterback, and Stefon Diggs showing why he's one of the best receivers in the league, the defense's upgrade could turn this team into a true Super Bowl contender. Looking ahead, the Bills' schedule is tough, but with Garrett in the fold, their chances of winning big games increase significantly. The AFC is stacked, but a dominant pass rush is often what separates the contenders from the pretenders. If they manage to pull off this trade, it could be the final piece needed to make a deep postseason run, similar to how Khalil Mack's trade to the Bears in 2018 catapulted that defense into elite status, boosting their pressures and winning percentage dramatically. In the end, this potential trade isn't just about acquiring a star pass rusher. It's about reshaping the Bills' identity on defense. It's about creating a front that can dominate both against the run and the pass, making the Bills a nightmare for offenses week in and week out. It's a bold move, no doubt, but one that could define the Bills' season and set them up for Super Bowl glory. Fans, I know we're all eager to see how this unfolds, but one thing is for sure. If it happens, it could be a turning point for this team, elevating them from good to great and making the entire AFC take notice. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Buffalo Bills news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Buffalo Bills fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential move? Do you believe that acquiring Myles Garrett would make us unstoppable? Or are you worried about Cleveland giving up such a key piece? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Bills. We've seen how a single addition can turn a team around, and Garrett's talent is undeniable. If the Bills pull this off, it could be the move that pushes us over the edge into that Super Bowl conversation. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Buffalo Bills news. We're in this together, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for the Bills this season.